My name is Tracy Franken, and I am actually originally from the Ottawa area, and we just recently moved to beautiful Nova Scotia. And it was quite the journey. We did it a little bit earlier than about 5 years earlier than we had expected to do this. And I am actually starting to write a book just on that journey. So I'm pretty excited about maybe getting that out there, not only as a memoir for myself, but also to inspire others to abandon your fears a little bit, embrace your dreams, and go for things despite all the obstacles. Oh, the obstacles. So many obstacles. So my family and I moved out here, and I have 3 lovely children. They are turning 15, 13, and 11. And the whole experience, even with watching my children go through it, was just this amazing, amazing experience. And that was part of what I wanted to share, was how they handled this journey of uprooting their entire existence and then deciding to move, 2 provinces over, and how they handled it. It was just just absolutely amazing. I used to run a very successful dog rehabilitation center, and it was a full center with boarding and daycare and grooming and everything. And I was a one-man show. I did it all myself. A little bit because I'm a control freak, not gonna lie, and a little bit because I struggled with the idea of letting go of that control and hiring people. But as much as I had fulfilled my dream of always working for myself and doing what I love, I burnt myself out and found myself literally spiraling out of control, questioning what I was doing, feeling all the guilt I think that women feel all the time with trying to balance work, balance life and kids and a husband, and all of a sudden that dream that I had built and I'd worked so hard to do, and it was so successful, was tearing me apart emotionally and physically and everything else. So very bad vacation to the East Coast, and an opportunity came up, and we decided to just blow up our life and move here to Nova Scotia. So that's kind of where it started. So the business that I was running, being a dog rehabilitation facility, we had, at the time that we decided to move, we still had 19 dogs. We had 4 horses, 3 goats, a mini pig, 7 cats, and a tank of fish that all had to make this journey with us. And I was heavily criticized, believe it or not, at first for doing it. A lot of people couldn't understand why we wouldn't just get rid of the dogs, especially because I was going to change the direction of my business. I was going to turn my expertise with dog behavior into an online course. So people were like, well, why don't you just rehome the dogs or get rid of the dogs? And that was something that we never considered. We were never in a million years going to now all of a sudden abandon these beautiful creatures that they were the lifeblood of my company, Beyond Obedience. And it seemed like a horrible idea to just say, well, we're leaving and off we go. So that was one of our major challenges when we knew that we had to move. And we did what everybody does when you're making a big move, right? We did our checklist. So we found a company that would move the horses. So we checked that off the list. And then we found a moving company to move our stuff. And we were like, okay, easy peasy. So really all that was left was the small livestock, the 19 dogs, 7 cats, and the tank of fish. And I was like, how hard could that be? How hard could that be? Turns out it's pretty hard. There's not a company out there that wants to take 19 dogs, 7 cats, 3 goats, a mini pig, and a tank of fish. That company doesn't exist. And so we tried everything. We were asking friends, and we were trying to find livestock trailers, but it happened to be in September. So it was fall fair season. So everybody was using their livestock trailers and they couldn't lend it to us. And there wasn't a one-way company that went so that you could rent a trailer and only go one way. And we were literally just sort of spinning. And oddly enough, we were lying in bed the one day, and I thought he was joking, but my husband turned to me and he was like, what if we bought a school bus? And then we laughed and laughed and laughed about how funny that would be. And then, you know, about 4 weeks before we had to move, we ended up having to buy a school bus. So we bought a used school bus. We pulled all of the seats out of it. We turned it into a mobile kennel for all of the dogs. And then we decided that we were going to tow my minivan behind my husband's pickup truck. So we turned the minivan into a cattery where we put all the cats and the fish. Then we took the goats and the pig and we put them in the back of the pickup truck. And that's how we made our way. It took 43 hours for us to drive, because every time we stopped, it took over 2.5 hours for us to walk and water all the animals. And as you can imagine, the looks that we got at the rest stops when we would pull in with this caravan of creatures, and then my kids would all get out. We would just one by one take dogs out. We'd water the pig and we'd water the goats. And people just sat there drinking their coffees at the rest stop like this was some form of, entertainment on your journey. But 43 hours later, we eventually made our way to our new home, which, for the record, we had never actually seen in person. We actually bought this property online, because you buy everything online, right? Everything. You can buy anything. You can buy clothes, shoes, and a house. You don't need to physically go and see things anymore. So we didn't have time to come and see it. So we went with pictures and videos, and we had narrowed down the search to a few houses. But the one that we went with was the one that I loved, because it had these like beautiful rolling hills. And I pictured myself riding my horses on those beautiful rolling hills, which is kind of ironic because I haven't ridden my horses in years. But that's what I imagined. So we went with that one. And when we finally made it to this place, the place was absolutely beautiful. It was better than the pictures. Like, we were really, really lucky. It was absolutely stunning. And the kitchen was amazing. And the bathroom had an amazing shower. Kids were happy. The only problem was that in those pictures that I looked at, it wasn't rolling hills. It was one big hill. Like, it was a huge hill. We live on this massive hill, and the barn is partway up the hill, and then our house is even further up the hill. And then we had to put the horses like even further up the hill. So my days are spent having to walk like up and down this massive hill. And my husband will, take every opportunity he can to be like, how about them rolling hills, honey? Aren't they lovely? And I'm like, oh, I know. But if that is the only villain in my story, is this massive hill, I will take it, because our lives have been significantly improved by this move. And my children literally embraced this journey as the best adventure of their lifetime, which was really awesome of them, because they're of an age right now where, they could have been jerks about it if they wanted to. They could have been like, I don't want to go, and my friends are all here. And we really we told them that this is going to be an adventure. We also told them that Nova Scotia was amazing, and every single person in Nova Scotia is just the nicest people. You'll never meet nicer people. And I honestly believe that they went into their new schools totally believing that every single person is beautiful and kind and nice. And that's what they got, right? They literally, all their friends that they met are wonderful. Their teachers are wonderful. And because they believed it when they walked in. And I think they actually created it. I'm going to take a little bit of credit for it, because I think we primed them pretty well to be, this is going to be amazing. And it really has been, other than the hill. The hill is huge. And some days it feels like I walk only uphill. And I know that defies logic, because obviously what goes up must come down. But some days, I swear, I'm like, I think I've just walked uphill all day. No, there's no downhill.